Welcome to Thoughts for Growth, a 3 to 15 minute program to inspire, motivate, and or provoke you to see life differently. Brought to you by K-Wave 6 Radio every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, here's your host.
There's a better way, there's a better way. Take one step back and say there's a better way, there's a better way.
Good morning. This is Kirk Spencer, the host of K-Wave 6 Radio. Today, just going to pass on some thoughts about dialogue and soliloquy. Soliloquy is just talking to yourself because basically nobody else wants to listen. But have you ever found yourself with a problem or with a concern, and you know that the only way to get past this problem or this concern is to have a conversation? We have so many problems going on these days where we need to actually sit down and have a dialogue. Two or more people talking about the problems that exist and how do we solve them, how do we get past them, how do we make our lives better in our communities, with relationships between one person and another, within groups, within our states, or within our world. And I find that there are many people, it doesn't really even depend on the subject matter, but people have problems and they think that the best way to handle a problem is to yell at somebody or to make somebody feel the way that they feel, justified or unjustified. We see this just in one of the things that are popular these days is people making standoffs with police. And you're looking at the uniform, but you're not looking at the person that fills out the uniform. The person that's behind the uniform is a person, and that person deserves to be addressed as a person. After all, when they take off the uniform and you see them on the street, you wouldn't know that that's a police officer. So addressing a person as you want to be spoken to should be the utmost in your mind. Yes, you can stand your ground, but you don't have to be belligerent about it. Think about it yourself. When somebody needs to talk to you about something and that person comes at you with blames, with accusations, assuming that you're going to give them the worst, and what do? You become defensive. You're not open to conversation. You're not open to a dialogue. But yet you feel justified in yelling and screaming and standing your ground and just putting this person to a point where, hey, it's not peaceful. It's you're attacking and the person is being defensive. Or if they're doing it to you, you become a defensive person and that person continues to attack and nothing gets solved. Let me give you two examples from my lifetime. When I was 18 years old, the usual 18 years old and whatnot, a friend of mine and I went out camping on our bicycles. We met up with some other people that we didn't know, but, being 18 years old, we all just kind of connected and had a great time. There's one guy in this group. He and his girlfriend were camping. They came with a duffel bag, and most of the duffel bag was just tent and beer. And that was it. He got drunk, and there was one of those high-tension power lines that was running through the state park we were camping in. He started climbing up one of the legs. He couldn't have gotten too far because there was barbed wire on the leg, so he could only go up maybe 20 to 30 feet. But everybody got excited. They're yelling at him to get down, and they're hollering, and his girlfriend resorted to calling him names and whatnot. So I couldn't get my voice heard above all the other yelling, so I climbed up one of the other legs so he and I could talk from basically one leg of this tower to the other. And calmly I spoke to him and talked him back down, which when he got back down, everybody was happy and content that he was down. He climbed into his tent and fell asleep for the next few hours. Now the other one was one of my many occupations in life. I was working at an extended warranty company in Chicago, and this woman got on the phone and she's yelling and screaming at me about what she deserves and what she wants, and it was close to 5 o'clock. The repair center where her car was closed at 5 o'clock. So I kept trying to interrupt her because I understood what she was getting at, but she just had to continue, just blah, 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 and just yelling at me. And then she finally stopped, and she goes, "So what are you going to do about it today?" And I just answered back, well, at this point, nothing. "Why not?" "Well, I was trying to interrupt you 5-10 minutes ago to tell you I would call the repair center and talk to them before they close. But now they're closed. It's after 5 o'clock, and I can't talk with them until tomorrow." At that point, she felt her own ignorance in yelling at me and trying to get out her vindication verbally and demanding that I do something because she took up all the time in just yelling at me. We are in a day and age where we need to actually speak and listen, not just hear. We oftentimes hear each other, but we don't listen to each other. There's many people that I know that literally hear what you say, but their only reason for listening or hearing is to give you a response, not something that was thought through, but they just want to respond, maybe to just show that they were paying attention, or they just feel that they have something to say, but it's not something of really any value. We need to listen. We need to respond to what is being said. Sometimes what's underlying in the conversation, something that may be a little painful for someone to speak, or they feel that they need to choose their words, whatever the case may be. But listening truly is both ears and your heart, and understanding what the person is talking about, then responding in kind manner. This is a conversation. This is a dialogue. Otherwise, you might find yourself in a soliloquy or a monologue and responding only because you feel the necessity to and can't find the way to say, "I can't respond." Intelligence tells us that you don't know all the answers. I don't know all the answers. No one knows all of the answers. But there are some things that I do know. There's some things that you know. And if we can have a dialogue, we can come to an understanding, and that in itself will make our world a better place to live. I hope your week turns out to be a wonderful week, and I hope your conversations are truly a dialogue. All the best to you and yours, and have yourself a wonderful week. Thank you for listening to today's Thoughts for Growth episode. Keep up with what's new on K-Wave 6 Radio by following our blog, following us on Twitter, and liking us on Facebook. All available at www.kwave6, that's the number 6, radio.tk. Again, www.kwave6radio.tk, or if you prefer, www.kwave6radio.wordpress.com.